Yo, what's cracking? Welcome to another episode of The Crossover with me, Ham Solo 05 Gaming, here with you on the TSWS Gaming YouTube channel. We got K Mega as usual for this show during the day. It's only 1:30 in the Lord's time, right, K Mega?
That's right, the Lord's time.
We don't care about y'all time. It's 1:30 in the Lord's time. But anyways, I just wanted to shout out real quick before I give you the floor, K Mega. Yo, happy 30th anniversary to Doom. Shout out to Doom. Happy 30th anniversary to him. K Mega, I wanted you just to go on ahead and let me know one of your favorite Doom moments just in the history of your life. Like, I'm sure there are several, but what's one that kind of sticks out a little bit for you?
The first time that I got to play on a PC was I should say like a person's like mega rig was Doom, and it tripped me out because of course it was alien to me because I mean this was different than the Commodore 64. This was a whole different animal, and it introduced me to shooters to a whole different light. So that was my first true experience with shooter, and my true experience with a PC rig with this guy. His name was what was his name? He had a weird name. He was a true PC guy, PC Master Race guy. He was a homeboy. He was one of the roommates for one of my best friends, Rob. And man, yeah, I had a lot of experience. That was my first true experience with that, with Doom and with like a PC rig. So yeah, that sticks in my mind. So yeah, and I was having fun learning how to play it. But yeah, I never was a person that got into Doom like that. But yeah, that was my first real good experience with it.
Yeah, Doom let me know that I'm not a keyboard player.
Right.
That's my history with Doom. I've had it way back when I had a Gateway PC. You remember those?
Oh yeah.
I had the little moo box, the little cow box looking thing. And yeah, Doom was cool. It was always something that was, I don't know why, but it was tough for me when I was growing up as a kid.
Yeah,
Doom was really freaking hard.
Yeah. Wolfenstein,
yeah, Wolfenstein too. Oh
yeah,
my!
They both were a problem.
Those games had replayability up the ass.
Oh yeah, no doubt, no doubt.
The hell out of those games over and over. But oh my goodness, as a kid, I was always lost going down corridors and opening secret doors and all this other stuff. I'd just be like watching somebody else play, watching them get all messed up, and then I'd try what they just did. Stuff like that. You gotta remember, this game's 30 years old. I'm 35, man. So like this game, I'm 5 years older than this game, man.
Man. You talk about you, bro. Yeah, bro. Forget about talking about your kids and how old they get. Like when these games, when they say 30 and 25 and 40 years, and you're like, damn, wow, man. So yeah, it does put the age on you, especially if you've been around for, I'm 48 now, so that should tell you right then, like how old I was when I first had my experience.
This man was just leaving high school when
I was in college, man. I was in college, bro. So yeah, it was crazy. So but it was, like I said, it was my first true experience with a shooter because, for everything else that you play, like, at the arcades, those, with the light guns and stuff like that, or when you was playing Nintendo, playing Duck Hunt and stuff like that, the experience was just totally different compared to when you were over here grabbing, like you said, a mouse and keyboard, trying to learn how to play that, and then the speed of the game at that time and the gore, like everything was just so new and fresh. So I just kept trying to learn to play it. I sucked at it, but it was but yeah, no, but just to see where it started to where it is now, man, and where it's going to go. So I mean, Doom is I think at this point is bigger than it's ever been. So yeah, no, so kudos to them, man. Kudos to them, and then kudos to Microsoft for swooping them up. So I mean, this is another legendary shooter franchise under the belt of Xbox. So yeah, it's not only the shooter box, but it's the RPG box. It's the everything box right now.
The box right now.
Box, the racer box, everything. It's just the gaming box.
Oh man. Yeah, and just to talk a little bit about that whole 3D aspect and whatnot back in that time, like you got to think about games like Doom's been around for quite some time. They've had PC versions, console versions, and stuff like that. Most of the games during those time periods were either side scroller shooters, vertical shooters. So, like what was that one game I'm trying to think of that was like in every dang arcade? Space Harrier, right? Space Harrier.
Yeah,
Space Harrier was another one where it was like you get to kind of fly around the screen, but a lot of the ones where you get to like see a lot of different visual stuff, you didn't get to really control where you went. You just kind of moved around the screen in set area, but you weren't really telling your person to go, move forward, turn this way. So like Doom really brought in the aspect of corridors and going down hallways, turning, surprise.
Right.
That's surprise scary as hell.
Yeah, big ass demon right there looking. I'm like, oh yeah. I'm like, what? Yeah. So yeah, no, it is amazing. Like I said, like you was just bringing up, like when you look back at how those shooters were, and then you evolve into where shooters are now. It's kind of crazy for the people who are younger, who hasn't experienced it like we have, like where gaming has been and how much it evolved, so much so that I don't know if the younger audience could go back and play those games like we did. You know what I mean? Because there's sometimes that when you go back and the nostalgia hits you like, oh man, I remember that greatness. And then you go back and you're like, oh, well, so. But it's just, but at that time, it was a technical marvel, man. Just nothing was like it at its time. So, and it is the one of the shooting goats for sure. Like it is one of the original mainline shooters, and you got to give it its props. Doom guy, Master Chief, you know what I'm saying? Now Call of Duty. I got to keep going back to it.
All right. Anyways, shout out to everybody that came through. I see some dope people up in the chat. My cousin was the first person to pop up saying first in the chat. Let's go. I can't wait to hear the take on Blade coming out. We are definitely going to be talking a little bit about that, some of the controversy around that as well. But also, Mr. Joanna Dark, what's cracking? Good to see you, brother. Xbox International Podcast. That'd be crazy. Louis calling me crazy. Get up out of here, sucker. You crazy. He's been calling me crazy ever since I had that video about Destiny, right?
Oh man!
And I was, kind of going to town with that whole situation and whatnot. And it's just like I said what I said, or he said what he said, and then called me crazy and whatnot, or labeled in a big kind of like box of, oh, those people are acting crazy. And then I say what I say. And then we have him on IGN looking how I felt. You know what I'm saying?
Bro.
Like, hey, Mega, I'm actually going to go on ahead and give you the floor real quick because you had something that you wanted to discuss before we actually started the show. And I kind of cut you off because we needed to get started. And you said you wanted to talk about it.
Okay. All right.
Let's kind of dive into that before we start to move around.
Yeah, because this is just a rumor, and already it's not getting a lot of traction, but it's you know what I'm saying, my brother Agent, you know what I'm saying, much love to him, another fighting fan, but he's a PlayStation guy. He's having a problem with me just giving my 2 cents on this topic, in which is about the PlayStation 5 Pro potential specs. And so like it goes into this whole situation of like, okay, so it's the CPU is maintaining the Zen 2 architecture, right? And like again, this is all speculation. This isn't actual specs. This is just all, you know, from some people that was in Reddit, so forth, so forth. But anyway, so it's saying that it's going to have the same Zen 2 architecture. It is going to be compatible with the PlayStation 5, of course. It also will have the dynamic peak of 4.4 gigahertz, 64 kilobytes of L1 cache per core, 512 kilobytes of L2 cache per core, and 8 MBs of L3 shades, if you know what all that stuff is, right? Also, what another thing it says, the architecture, this is another thing too. It says the architecture is RDNA 3, but it's taking ray tracing improvements from RDNA 4. I don't even know if there's an RDNA 4 around. Like, I don't know. I just know that RDNA 3 just came in. But anyway, but people in the chat, please correct me if this. I'm just reading off of what I'm seeing. And then it says BVH traversal will be handled by dedicated ray tracing hardware rather than fully relying on shaders. It will also include thread reordering to reduce data and in other crazy stuff. So it goes in there. Let me get to this one part though, right here. So it says 3584 shaders, 224 TMUs, and 96 ROPs, 16 gigabytes of 18 gigabytes of GDR6. What? GDDR6. Wait a minute. In there, GDDR5, and there, I have not heard anything about no GDR6. Anyway, it says 256 bit memory bus with 576 gigabytes of memory bandwidth. Okay, so, and then this is the last part right here. It says the GPU frequency target is 2.0 gigahertz. This lands the dual issue T-flops in a range of 28.67 T-flops peak. And so pretty much, right? So if this thing still has the Zen 2 architecture, this is all I'm saying. I posted on Twitter/X, right? And all I said, if this is real, the CPU and the bandwidth could cause issues, which means it would be bottleneck with that CPU. And then the bandwidth, you need more bandwidth in order for it to be more streamlined. Like that would be definitely, like everybody's talking about the Series S and calling it the potato. You would be hampering all this power for no apparent reason, just to go by just using cheaper parts. You know, this sounds like this is the stuff for a PlayStation 6, not for a mid-gen refresh. So that's why I was just saying, like, okay, forget all that. If you're not into all the specs, how about that price? Because if PlayStation is going to go and put stuff that we haven't even heard from DDR6 and RDNA 4 and all that craziness, then what do you think that this price range will be? Because at the bottom line, that's what's going to be the most important. What are you going to say, Ham?
No, I said it's going to be hefty.
Oh yeah, it's going to be ridiculous. So I mean, if let's just say all that shit. And
actually, although what you're talking about isn't really for a casual, right?
Man, but
I'm happy. Like if they actually decide to go through with something as powerful as this,
I got a call. Go ahead and keep going. I got a call from my mom.
No. I was just saying if they really actually have something that has, you know, a whole bunch of power into it, I'm excited to see it. I've been waiting for a console to just kind of put its foot down, or a company to put its foot down and just say, yo, we got a pro version and it's just insane. And it does everything. Sure, I see what Mr. Joanna Dark saying in the chat. He says, I'd rather just get a PC. And I don't blame you for that at all. But some people, they don't want a PC. They don't want to deal with anything that has to do with the PC. They just literally just want to, be able to connect their controllers, play a game and stuff like that. And if you have the opportunity to have something that's like high performance, crazy, maybe a little more expensive than you anticipated, but provide you with all of the necessary tools to be able to be extremely, strong and withstand the whole generation and even some of the follies that, your original console may not be able to smoothly, or sure, maybe it can do it smoothly, but it, just can't really perform at that high octane level that you're really looking for. Maybe something of this caliber could actually be useful to a lot of people. I mean, there was a lot of people that were more than willing to buy that PlayStation at that original price back in the PS3 days. So if they're willing to, bump up the specs, make it make sense. That's the most important part. Make it make sense, but have it just be the all premium kind of thing. That would be, and keep it, I'd say no more than like $900. Sounds crazy.
Yeah.
But like, if it's really kitted out like that, then I ain't mad. Especially with people buying. I mean, I know a few people that bought a Series X for $8,000-$9,000, PS5s $1,200. Like I've seen people do that shit. So to put out an actual quality system that's maybe worth that kind of price, I'm not mad about it. I'd actually like to see more companies do that. I mean, hell, think about it. Audio receivers back in the day.
Mm-hmm.
Sony had a regular line, and then they had the unnecessary line, right?
Right.
And the unnecessary line was not for casual at all. But it was interesting to see. And when you went over a dude's house and seen that they got that, you're like, yo, you ain't messing around. You got everything you need. You saw it. What do you think about that, K-Mega? Do you think something like this is what us hardcore fans really need? Or do you line up with Mr. Joanna Dark where you're just like why? Just get a PC.
Right. No, and I agree with Joanna Dark, because this is one thing, right? Like, I feel you on this. Is like, well, let's just give us this the best, the most incredible
spend your money, spend your money, right?
Yeah. A console that the market can spend. But the problem is that people aren't going to buy. Go back to case in point, the PlayStation 4 Pro. It sold like that first 3-4 months pretty steady, and then it fell off the face of the planet. That's exactly how it would be. People would wait, and then this is another thing too, and then I said this as well, is that if PlayStation does come out with something like this, let's just say these specs are absolutely correct, right? You know what I'm saying? Then they're going to cannibalize themselves when they drop the PlayStation 6, because if this thing is going to drop, and this is a pro version, and this thing is going to be upwards of $600-$700 plus. I mean, from the stuff that they're talking about, like this would be like almost a $900 console, $900 to $1,000 console, right? So, in reality, it would have to be affordable enough or attractive enough for somebody who are these gamers that want to go, get the best console that they can get from PlayStation. So it has to be an attractive price. It's not everybody's going to pay $900,000 for no console. If that's the case, then they can go ahead and start getting them PCs ready, right? So it has to be around $600 to $700. And if you got these things that, the last thing I heard was RDNA 3. I didn't hear it. And I think that was just recently came in or just dropped sometime this year, at the end of this year, I believe, or maybe sometime in the middle of the year. Please, in the chat, please correct me if I'm wrong. But they're talking about RDNA 4. Like that if you got technology that's going to be in this thing that comes out next year, then that means that is going to be an equivalent of that's going to be very expensive. And Sony ain't cutting Sony's going to cut corners. They're not going to sit there and give you the best of the best and then give you something for less. You know what I mean? It just isn't going to happen. They're not looking to make deals with you. They're looking to maximize their dollars. And the fan base is already, the console market has already been kind of let us know what's the max that they can go. $600 is the max. You know what I'm saying?
You think so? 600.
I think $600 is the max. I think you can go over it, but that doesn't mean that people are going to buy it.
Fair.
You know what I'm saying? Look what happened with, you go back in that time with the PlayStation 3, of course, that was ridiculous. And if your competition is got consoles that's cheaper or, reasonable, then where do you think the fan base is going to go? They're going to go to where their pockets are not going to get, finessed. They're going to go say, look, well, I'll just wait for this PlayStation to go down. So if this Pro thing is real, then let this Pro thing come out. It's going to be $600, $700, $800, right? And then you're going to get the PlayStation 6 in about 3 more years after that. And that's going to be more powerful than this Pro. How much do you think that thing is going to be? So it will cannibalize the growth of the PlayStation 6. So that's why I don't believe this whatsoever. I believe that there's going to be a Pro version, but I think it's going to be on par of the Series X, but or maybe a slightly stronger in I guess with like the T-flops talk and all that other stuff, right? Like I think just slightly. I think it's probably going to, myself personally think it's going to be on par head to head with the Series X. Not going to be that much more powerful from my standpoint. But yeah, no, I think this whole thing is bullshit, honestly. But if it was real, it would be way too much money. I think it would be too high for a lot of people to get. Not for us, but for the market out there, for the casual market. They're looking at that like, what? How much? 808? What? No, people ain't gonna do it. Yeah,
I can tell you, I'd be interested in it, depending on everything that it does, right? Because I mean, at the same time, we got to remember, it's just like, these consoles. I look at my PC, and that thing gets pushed to the limit sometimes. Bro. You know what I'm saying? I got 3080 in my PC.
Yes.
I got a 3800X CPU, a little older on the CPU side. I could upgrade that one, sure, but it's just like there ain't no way a PS5 Pro gonna outdo my 38. Like that just ain't happening.
No, it's not.
That just ain't happening. The graphics card alone costs as much, or it did, and it's still. I mean, shit, the graphics card alone right now is still more than a PS5.
Yes.
And then to think about a Pro console, when I bought this GPU, it was more than they could even charge this Pro at, even if they went on the side of near $1,000, right? Because these GPU prices have been out of pocket.
Right. They've been way out of pocket.
But if they're selling us the actual just GPU by itself and it's that much money, imagine what it costs to perform like that on a console.
Thank you. And
so then let's just kind of keep it real. Let's keep it, keep it
real, and then let's keep it another level of real. They're going to raise the price of their games too. If they're going to come out like that, if there's anything to this crazy post, you know what I'm saying, of this potential specs or whatever for the PlayStation 5 Pro, then they'll definitely raise their games up to $80. They're not going to they're going to try to maximize as much money as possible. You know what I'm saying? That's the thing that people don't understand. Like if these were like, let's say Xbox stats or whatever, which I wouldn't believe either, Xbox would try to cut corners to try to make it as affordable as possible, but it still would be at the least $650. 600 at 600 at the least. I'd say would be $650 at the least. And that's for Xbox trying to cut corners on a console to try to catch up on console sale numbers. You think PlayStation's going to cut corners? They're the market leader. They're definitely the console leader. So No, they're not going to do that. They're not going to do that whatsoever. Like I said, I don't believe it at all. But I do know that there'll be a pro, but I just don't. Nah, man, it just doesn't make any sense to me. But the one thing that was tripping me out is that like agent was telling me, well, don't try to be an armchair, gaming architect. And I'm like, you know what I'm saying? Or, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, what are you talking about? I'm just saying, like, if you got all this power, how the hell is it that you know what I'm saying, you're going to still keep the same CPU? You might as well go ahead and go balls to the wall. You know what I'm saying? Like that's the whole thing. Like you'll bottleneck this console. And then, and then people are going to find out about that. They like, well, hold on, my PlayStation 5, this is better than my PlayStation 5. But in some cases, when they do those digital foundry things, and when the Series X beat it, then people are going to be like, what? I paid this much and Xbox is beating my console that I just paid $600, $700, $800 for? No, it just don't make any sense, man. Yeah.
Think about it, and I know PlayStation doesn't have this game, but think about a game like Starfield, right?
Yeah.
You can put whatever GPU you want on it.
Yeah.
It's heavy in CPU.
Yeah.
It is heavy in your CPU. Yeah. So you can put the best GPU on that. If your CPU is not hitting,
you in trouble.
You right back where you started.
You're in trouble. You're still getting 30 frames per second games. You know what I'm saying? So tell me this: you're gonna sit there and keep the CPU and the bandwidth, and then yet you got all this other power, and you'll still get games that's going to be 30 frames per second. What sense will that make? So that's what I'm saying. Like, I didn't believe it. That's my whole point, was like, whoa, hold on. And I'm not here to try to say like I'm some PC or like, savant on knowing what's going on within these boxes or even PCs. I just know I'm just now starting to learn it more the more that I keep rebuilding these the rigs that I got. This is my third rig that I built. You know what I'm saying? And I keep adding more and more different stuff in here, more powerful things into these PCs that I've been making. So this stuff now kind of makes sense from what I'm hearing. But I'm still a novice. I'm just now trying to get to an intermediate level now. So,
I agree with you, Mike Johnson. I don't think like to make this big of a step. I mean, you got to be silly to use the same CPU. I mean, to me, it just wouldn't make any sense. But I do have a super chat that's going to help us go to our next topic. But before I do that, I just want to shout out my cousin Matt up in the chat, my real life cousin. He says the price of gaming will always rise, but will the experience grow with it? That's a great question.
That's a great question
to continue to ask, especially while we have, and I know what he's kind of referring to because he texted me this a while back, and he's not even, huge into like watching the news for gaming and stuff like that. But even he, as more of a casual person that, takes care of his family, does what he has to do, and then games on the side, he hit me up like, yo, you see what the dude at Take-Two said? A regular gamer, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry for taking that as disrespectful, cuz deal with it. But a regular gamer just coming out here and just being like, oh, what's going on here? This dude talking about hourly prices for games? So yeah, I think that's a totally valid question, but will the experience grow with it? Absolutely. The thing I wanted to use a transition was Drawn TJ super chat earlier, $5 super chat. He says, "What up, guys? Destin is scared. He looked at the TV. That was playing My Little Pony, and Jim Ryan and Dreamcast guy crawled out of it like the rain."
Oh my goodness, this man here.
John DJ always going. He's
always messy.
But on some real talk though, like, a little weird though. You want to talk about weird? So in case you don't know, Dustin Legary is the guy in the third person on the screen. If you're going from left to right, he's the third person there, between the two ladies. And just listen to this for a quick second. Listen to this. This is pretty interesting. I'm actually going to shut the music off.
in 2024, having Hellblade 2 and Stalker 2 would be enough for Xbox.
You hear that, K-Man?
No, they're going to have more than that, of course.
Well, but we don't know.
I mean, they've also teased Fable. We got that.
Yeah, but I just don't think it's coming in 2024 is all. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, the Starfield expansion is also slated. I shattered something. But I think that would hit in 2024. Yeah. That could get a tease tonight. And we're all worried about the player numbers going down. So.
I mean, they have.
I'm being sarcastic.
No, they have.
Well, yeah, it's a single player game. Okay. So, yeah.
All right. We have got to take a quick break, but when we come.
When you see something just like that, I mean, I know he's not getting beat to the ground like some people are acting like is happening. But just what are your thoughts when you look at something like that after all the defending that he did for no bias at all? Just what kind of swims around your head when you see, somebody, making him look a little uncomfortable?
Yeah. It's every time that I feel like, I've got to a point to where like I get it, I understand it. It's been happening like this for years. There's always another level to it that just makes me just give that look that Dustin like, or just like what I've been looking like while I was just listening to it, just shaking my head like, where we got to understand here, like, you guys are the professionals. You are the journalists. You're supposed to have all this information. If it's not there, if you don't know or remember it yourself, then you should have people that's there that will help you understand what's there and what's available. To come out and just bring and just say 2 games and then kind of poo-poo like one of the biggest selling games of 2023, which is Starfield, to poo-poo the DLC is like, oh yeah, and then not mention Avowed or anything else that the power of Game Pass, other games that's been slated to come out in 2024. And just to say, is that enough? Going against what PlayStation so far, for what we know that's coming from PlayStation, is not a lot of first party. It's only a lot of third party stuff. And to come and make it seem like that these third party games are more important than what everybody in the industry has been saying, and even fans, that Xbox needs to have a slate of first party games to come out, right? And just kind of well, is this the situation? And when Dustin tried to laugh it off, it was like talking about the numbers, like knowing that every single player game numbers go down. Like, I mean, it's just what it does. Like those numbers go down after the first month. I mean, if people remember when Hogwarts Legacy first came out, it just, it decimated everything. And then there was articles about how the numbers went down on how there were so many people that just dropped off and stopped playing the game, or there was people that already beat Hogwarts Legacy and those numbers were down. That's just what single player games do. It's always been that way. I mean, how about we go and check what Spider-Man numbers look like now, especially of how many people has beat the game or gone through it, had their fun with it, and now they're going on to the next thing, right? Like this is what single player games do. And to stress about Starfield's numbers, if you keep on trying to deny the fact that there is not a bias, you don't have to call it Xbox tax if you think that that's a stupid phrase or whatever the case may be. But you cannot keep no longer saying that there is no bias. It's been there, but it's even more apparent. Now, I don't know if you got another video to show, but there was another video where they're talking about, and they were talking about Blade, and they were talking about
right here. Let's stop.
Let's stop that.
Let's listen to it.
Let's go listen to that. Like, it's just crazy.
Who knows? Arcane doesn't like to give us what we expect.
I was surprised to see that the Xbox logo is nowhere on this trailer, given that Arcane is under Bethesda and Bethesda is under Xbox. Does that tell us anything?
It could be something as simple as...
Because we know they just started development on this, so we wouldn't think this is a holdover from before they were bought.
Correct. It could be something as simple as they just expect everybody to know that, hey, we're part of Xbox, so we don't need to broadcast it.
Sure, but PlayStation puts their logo on all their
for
first party
sure.
stuff.
It could also be another thing to where Marvel, we have like things like MLB The Show, which is like designed by a PlayStation studio and drops on both PlayStation and Xbox. So it could be something that Marvel said, hey, this needs to go more broad.
Except Wolverine isn't.
It's true.
Destin, what are your thoughts?
Maybe it's something as simple as they haven't worked out the details yet with Marvel, because we know, again, from those court documents with the FTC, that was a conversation they had to go to the studio heads with. So maybe they haven't landed on how Blade is going to be delivered to the audience when it comes out. Maybe it will be multi-platform. Xbox doesn't really mind allowing their games to release on PlayStation some of the time. So who knows?
But Xbox does still need exclusives. That's still an area that they're sorely lacking in.
I mean, we've still got a lot coming, though. There's a lot more.
That's true.
They've got Stalker 2, Fable, Hellblade 2. There's a lot of stuff Xbox is dropping, so maybe they don't need this as an exclusive. I welcome it as an Xbox exclusive, but I don't think they're hurting for exclusives as of right now.
Man, listen to this girl. She's out there
Metaphor
holding it down.
Refantasio. How can you
Quiet. This girl
Xbox console exclusive?
There you go.
I mean, if you start looking at even the stuff that we talked about on the pre-show, they have Avowed that's exclusive. They have Hellblade. That Hellblade was insanely impressive at this showcase. And they have exclusives coming next year. But it has been a criticism of the Xbox platform. And today, I think they showed up and said, hey, look, here's all the cool stuff that Xbox fans have to look forward to next year and into the future.
Well, speaking of PlayStation, they did have a few reveals of their own. And there's a new free mode coming to God of War Ragnarok next week. God of War Ragnarok Valhalla is a rogue light mode where it's an epilogue to the events of Ragnarok, follows Kratos on a deeply personal and reflective roguelike journey.
All right. Well, there we have it.
Yeah.
What'd you think of that, K-Man? I gotta know, brother. What'd you think of that, man? They talking about the dude in the background right there. Brother, what's going on here? Why does it seem like Destin and old girl right next to Destin, the sister? Why was she having to say all this? I mean, this dude was questioning left, right, and center about Xbox's first party and Xbox needing games, and she's like, "Yo, they got games and they got games coming. What are you talking about?"
Hey, like, that's what I'm saying. Like, that dude has been in IGN for years, over a decade. I mean, almost 20 years. He's been there for that long. He's, if not at 20 years. The guy that was asking the questions, the one with the mustache. And what blows my mind is that they are so hell-bent to try to make these narratives about Xbox stick that aren't realistic anymore. What was good in 2017, 2018, in 2020 or 2019, it's not here anymore. It died in 2021. It died. And it kind of resurfaced because of the situation with the 2022, but it wasn't because of the fact that there was no games. It was the fact that there was games delayed. It wasn't because they didn't have games that wasn't ready, that we didn't know about. Those games just got pushed back. So really in 2021, that whole narrative died. And it definitely is gone now because 2023 has got rolling and 2024 is going to be rolling. 2025 is going to get rolling. 2026, the train is going. It's already moving. You get tired of this because all you need to know is this. If Blade was a PlayStation game and all they did was put their logo on it, would anybody be questioning it? Would anybody be questioning if the game is going to be exclusive or not? No. So why is it that Xbox have to bend over backwards to just prove that this game is going to be exclusive or this game is that, whatever? And then when they keep talking about track records, well, let's look at their track record. What out of the games out of the studios they acquired, which one of these single player games are on PlayStation? Let's see. They don't own Moon Studios, so they do own Ori, but they don't own Moon Studios.
Right.
That game is over there. They didn't own the company that made Cuphead, so that's one over there. But for the companies that they do own, we're looking at like with Starfield. Starfield was in production before the deal was out, and look what they did. They locked it up. They've already made it clear that look, man, the next oh my goodness, what is that game from the team that's it was really popular. It's a space game. You go out there. I beat it too, and I can't even think of the name of that game. But they're talking about if they asked Matt Booty, hey, if their game will be an exclusive to Xbox, even though it came to PlayStation, the first entry. I can't remember what that game. Outer Worlds.
Oh, the Outer Worlds.
Yeah, Outer Worlds. Yeah, Outer Worlds. Matt Booty is like, man, you know what? We might just go ahead and keep that. The talk about when you listen to the court case, when you hear about with Oblivion or whatever the hell the game name is going to be called from coming from Todd, the next game coming from Todd Howard, that game is most likely going to be Elder Scrolls. That game is going to be exclusive. So you got another single player game. They made it clear in the court hearings. It's like games that are continuation games go over to get played everywhere. Games that are not, 9 times out of 10, maybe 10 times out of 10, will become exclusive. It is no secret that the FTC is still trying to fight Microsoft for whatever reason. And this right here, where if you find out that Blade, a Marvel entity, is exclusive right now at this point, this is more ammo for the FTC to go after and to say, look, we tried to tell you, got to watch out for this evil corporation, blah, 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 blah. The game is at least 3 years away from being released. So what is the purpose of talking about it now, being an exclusive or making a big deal about it? And also another point too, this is another crazy factor that I'm just throwing in here. The people that once worked at Sony now, some of the marketing team that worked at Sony, a lot of them work over there at Microsoft now. They know the ins and out of how Sony used and leveraged the media to make it work in their favor. You don't think that this information didn't go by them and say, well, people are going to go ahead and talk about this, right? Do we want this to keep this, do we want this to be good press, bad press, whatever press? Any press is good press when you come to think about it. So if people are going to continue to start talking about Blade, if it is or if it's not going to be an exclusive, but they're still mentioning Blade, that's good for Microsoft, regardless of the fact. The marketing team for Xbox has been so much better, right? And I was hoping right when Starfield dropped that they were going to really kick it in gear, because I was hoping that they would do it with Redfall, but of course they knew the ins and outs about Redfall, but they released it anyway, which, okay. But now we starting to see more marketing from Microsoft than we've seen, I think, in years. So I think now it's just press and let it be that way, because as you can see, the media and the stands and people who hate Microsoft needs to talk about Xbox. They can't. If Microsoft went away today, let's just put this out there. Let's tell the truth. If Microsoft went away today, you would lose probably 80% of the PlayStation content creators out there, because that's all they talk about is Xbox. So I don't know, man. I just think it's ridiculous, man. It's I have no doubt in my mind that Blade will be exclusive. It's just Microsoft is just like, look, there ain't no need to talk about it right now. Just be hyped for what we did. And for Xbox gamers, I said this on GRG Friday. Stop letting people take away your joy. The VGAs were fantastic for Xbox. This shit right here don't even matter. Like this, we can understand if this game is coming out in 2024, but this game ain't coming out until maybe it might be a launch title for the new Xbox. We don't know when this game is going to come out. It could be that far away. It could, like I said, 3 years. I think at the minimum that this game is going to release. Let's just enjoy the fact that Xbox is going to get a Marvel game added there. A lot of people was asking for it. Xbox yet again listens to you. Let's just enjoy this ride, man.
Yeah, man. I mean, I'm extremely excited for this game. I would be a little floored if this was if this game ended up, being multi-platform.
Yeah, I see that.
As in outside of just Xbox. I'd be a little floored by that. I wouldn't be crazy disappointed because I'm playing it regardless. It doesn't take away from my experience of the
I know where
game,
I'll be
and
playing it.
I'm not making money if Xbox decides to give it to PlayStation. That doesn't fund my pockets at all. For some people, it funds their pockets, I guess, in the sense of narrative. But as for me, it's just like, look at Microsoft in this situation specific. I find it hella ironic, right? Because the mantra, the whole thing last generation was Xbox has no games, right? Xbox has no games. Xbox has no games. Then it went to Xbox buys their game, right?
Right.
And now it's that game ain't exclusive.
Mm.
It's coming to PlayStation as well. I just think it's very ironic how something like that happens, where it's just like, oh, you went so far out of your way to say ignore this, ignore this, ignore this. You're constantly covering it, and we're seeing you flip in real time. We're watching you. Whether you are telling us that you're going to be an Xbox gamer in the future or not.
Right.
You don't have to do that. You're telling me that you need to play this game.
Right.
And you're expecting it to come out for your favorite platform.
Right.
What's going to happen when it doesn't?
Let's
Are
see.
you going to forget about it? Probably not.
Nope. And that's the whole thing right there is
Xbox
that
running with that marketing style.
They're
saying, I dare you to keep talking about this.
Right. Yeah.
Keep telling everybody it's coming to PlayStation and watch what happens when it doesn't.
Right. And watch you get mad about it. And then just like you did about Starfield, which you bragged about Starfield was the game of the generation. Where did we get that information from? Where did we come with that slogan? We got it from the media. The media was the one that told us Starfield is the game of the generation. Did they not? Like, they took a quote, I guess, from Todd Howard or whatever, saying that, look, we would want this game to be like Skyrim. We wanted to make a game of generation. The media went with it. They told us that. They said it over and over and over again. So now people say it, and now the media is trying to say, no, wait, hold on. Now, not as many people are playing it now. So no, you did this. And it's the same thing of what's going on right now with the media when they're trying to still hold on to, they need, it's like they need Microsoft to be the laughingstock of the industry for their purposes. And it's not happening anymore. It's just not. They're, saying, well, Xbox walk, as great as everything going, and then they'll walk and they'll step on a rake and hit themselves in the nose. Yeah, they'll do that. But it ain't going to be as bad as it used to be, where they would step on a rake, then they walk another foot, and then they stepping on another rake. It's not like that anymore.
Then the shovel. Then
the shovel. Then it's a bear trap. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Then they fall off a cliff. No. Those days are over.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Those days are done.
Xbox Coyote right there.
Yeah. That's right. Xbox Coyote. Perfectly said. I just think personally that if they already exposed themselves. The stands exposed themselves a long time ago, but just recent times right now, just go back to, what was it, last week, where they were over here starting to brag about that Xbox games were coming to PlayStation and how giddy they acted about it. They would say that those games are trash, but now y'all overexcited about this, and now look at this, is another Xbox game or potentially Xbox game that's going to be dropping. And you want that one too. So you can't just kind of say, man, I really want that game, man. I'm looking forward to getting an Xbox. So you're going to make videos and content saying and telling people that this game is not exclusive, and try to make all these crazy ass point the dots here and there of why this game is going to come to PlayStation, instead of just looking at what exactly is in your face and what exactly has happened in recent memory of games that were supposed to be slated to come that Xbox didn't tell you until within that time frame if that game was going to be exclusive or not. This is going to happen the same way with this. And Aaron Greenberg gave everybody a little message and then let it go. Like, he's like, okay, I can only do so much. You know what I'm saying? But he posted blade on his little thumbnail, and then he wore this shirt as well. That was kind of giving this indication of like, look, man, Xbox ain't giving a damn about what y'all talking about. We keeping it moving, but we gonna keep a low profile. So that's why I don't. There's no way that you're going to get this game out here. I mean, it's a possibility, but I'm going to go 95%. This game's exclusive, 5%. This game.
I'm
is
actually
not.
right there with you. The exact same number.
It's definitely coming. It's definitely going to be on Xbox.
Like I said, my jaw would drop. I'd be floored a little bit if it said, "Oh, this is coming out everywhere." But at the same time, you think Microsoft's mad that they're sharing Call of Duty with PlayStation?
Hell no.
I'm just saying, like I'm not advocating that, hey, Xbox games should be shared everywhere with every platform. I'm not advocating that at all. But what I'm saying is, right after you make a $70 billion purchase, right? Do you think that they feel some type of way sharing the most profitable game on that from that publisher that's already been available for everybody else?
Right.
It's been available. They're just like, yo, dink, right? They just looking at the money right now.
Yeah, they looking at every month. They over here seeing that new check coming in. I'm like, damn.
And when you game plan, you see everybody is wondering where Redfall's gonna be. Everyone's wondering where Starfield's gonna be.
Yep.
When is Hi-Fi Rush getting a PlayStation port? When is all these games, right? When you see that as a business and you're like, man, they're always wondering about PlayStation, I'm gonna let them sit and stew in that shit. I'm gonna let them sit and stew in it until the last second, and I might even tell them straight up, but they probably won't believe me. How many times does Phil Spencer have to come out and tell people Starfield is exclusive?
Right.
He got it got to the point where he went on camera and said, it's a little wild that people keep asking me if this game is, going to be exclusive or not. It is. It's to me, it's like the troll of all time from Xbox. Now they know that they got people upset and they're using it against.
Right. That's what I'm saying. That marketing team is been working wonders. Like the only let them talk, because it's good publicity, because even though people are because what this does, the more that this gets out there, the more that the casual market who don't pay attention to this stuff like we do will say, oh, is there a Blade game coming? Oh, let me go look at this. Oh man. And then they might think like, oh, well, if this is coming to PlayStation, I can't wait to play it. But then when they come out and find out, oh, it's coming on Xbox, and if they're a big Blade fan, then they're gonna be like, yo, I'm gonna have to give me an Xbox, because they don't have no loyalties to these consoles. They only got loyalties to where shit is cheap and where the games are at. And this was something that Xbox needed to get, point this out. Another factor, Ham and chat, this is one thing I think people need to put this in perspective as well. It's a damn if you do situation and damn if you don't. You go back to when they had the timed exclusivity for Rise of the Tomb Raider.
Okay.
The media just decimated Xbox. Like they kept asking, and then when they found out it was the worst thing ever. Yeah. Huh?
You think they forgot that?
Oh no, the media wants you to forget that. The gaming media wants you to forget that stuff.
I'm talking about Xbox. You think they forgot that?
No, they never did. They never did. It goes back to tell you what Phil Spencer said about with Street Fighter V. All you got to do is just like you said, listen to what Phil Spencer tells you. Like Phil Spencer said, I will not make that mistake again. I will not let that mistake happen again. And what happened? Xbox made sure that they got Street Fighter. I wouldn't be surprised if Street Fighter comes to Game Pass at some point, sometime in the next year. I wouldn't doubt it. I would not doubt it. Once you get past like the first year of the game, I would be looking forward to seeing maybe that game might come into Game Pass during the fall of next year. I wouldn't doubt it. Every time that Phil Spencer says that he says something that he knows that something was wrong, they made sure they got it right. And all they want to do is make sure that they satisfy the gamer that's been standing by them this whole time. Of course they want to sell more consoles. And if you go ahead and you put Blade on a PlayStation, well, then there's no reason to buy an Xbox console, right? Or to even get or to get into the Xbox ecosystem. If it's all about the money aspect of it, but see, this is the difference of it. The difference is that when you go ahead and you have a single player game, that game is going to depreciate in a month or less. They usually say 90 days. But if this Blade game comes out, it gets a decent rating of an 80 or something like that, 80 or higher. Okay, it gets these accolades. People are going to play it. There's going to be people that's going to beat it. They're going to get their feeling. They're going to be done. Yeah, Microsoft got their money, but then what did they lose out of that by putting Blade on PlayStation? It would be that they've lost an opportunity to sell some consoles or to get people to get into Xbox's ecosystem because they still stayed where they were in PlayStation. When you got a single player game, that is a completely different animal compared to what like with Call of Duty or with other multiplayer games, because they're already integrated and those games are live service, and they also keep they got money. You know what I'm saying? They keep generating money. Blade is not going. It's going to get to a point to when Blade drops, Blade's going to get their money maxed out within that first 2 months, and then after that, it's gone. So it's not like the PlayStation fans is going to keep it in the top 10 on the PlayStation storefront for the whole entire year. That's not what's going to happen. That's why I don't look at this situation as where Xbox looks and see certain games like the single player games need to go to PlayStation, because they got PC and they're going to have mobile and they're going to have Game Pass and Xbox on televisions. That's way more players than just the PlayStation fan base. That's my opinion on it.
No doubt, no doubt. And Drawn TJ, I did read your super chat to start off this topic, actually, when we were talking about Destiny and whatnot. So I did read that, and just as a little reminder of what he said, "What's up, guys? Destin is scared. He's looked at the TV that was playing My Little Pony and Jim Ryan and Dreamcast guy crawl out of it like the Ring." And then Doc Dark 1985 thought he was messing with me early on Twitter. This man thought he would tag me and say, "Excuse me, maybe I should take your like motto or whatever," saying that he played so much games this year, and I had to show him what happened. I had to show him. So
you showed him your
saying disrespectful. How you playing games, bro? You him? Question mark. What up, Doc?
Number one game.
He's a real fun dude to talk with, and I've had him on this podcast several times. I need to get him back on here as well. He's a really fun individual to talk to about games. He's always joking around and shit. Like, it's just a good time being around Doc because he has great energy. But anyways, to continue on, because we do only have about 40 minutes left. Yeah. We have about 42 people watching right now. Please go on ahead and hit that hit that like button if you can. I'd appreciate it so much. If you're new here, hit that subscribe button. We do this show every Monday. On Tuesdays, me and Loke do the lowdown. Wednesdays, I've been starting to drop a little bit of media on there. I don't do anything live that day, except on a different channel. But on this channel, I do a little reviews or just thoughts, impressions, and stuff like that on Wednesdays. Thursday, got Behind Them Sticks. This week, it's DC Gaming, if you've heard of him. And then on Friday, I do Bullshit with Matt, Cozy Beluga, Loke, like I said, myself. And usually we have a guest on. I'm not sure who the guest is going to be this week. It's been a few weeks since we had a guest, so I'm definitely going to I'm going to open up that little black book or that Rolodex, and I'm going to hit up a few people and see if they want to come through for the show. But go on ahead and you guys hit that like button if you can. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. But as we continue down, I'm kind of interested in your guys' opinion on this as well as K Megas. What is your gaming expectations for 2024? What is a must and needs to be there, K Mega? Tell me right now.
Before I say that, because I was going to ask you a question. Have you done your dropped what like your most played game of the year and all? It shows you achievements and stuff. Is it Starfield?
It is Starfield.
It's
Yeah.
Starfield. Mine is
Yeah,
Diablo. I could not believe it.
Oh damn! Yeah,
Yeah.
that's crazy because you put a lot of time into Starfield as well. But I remember,
it's my
out
second
your damn mind with
Diablo. Yeah,
with Diablo. You had a problem with that.
Yeah, and I'm afraid to go back to it because that problem might come back again. So, Diablo was something serious, but yeah, Diablo was mine.
Yeah, it says I have 311 hours played
on Starfield.
Yeah.
I had like 380 something, I believe, on Diablo, and then second was Starfield, like 270 something. Like I got 273 hours, and then the third game, which is even an Xbox game, was Forspoken. I got 255 hours in Forspoken. So, which that was kind of
the game is a lot longer than a lot of people think.
Yeah. Forspoken is massive, and I mean, if I tried to do more, then it would have been crazy. I'm like, yeah, let me get to the end. It's really big. But yeah, what do I want to see? What's a must for 2024? And is it just Xbox or is it everything gaming wise?
Oh no, this is a gaming podcast, brother. This ain't just an Xbox podcast. We just so happen to be talking about Xbox a lot because everybody's throwing a lot of dirt. Mm-hmm. But this is just gaming, man. What is your expectations for gaming in 2024? What games need to come out for? Let's go on ahead and just do each console and the PC. So let's start first with PlayStation. What do they need in 2024?
PlayStation needs it's not coming out next year. What'd you say?
That's a G maybe tripping. He said impressions.
Impressions. I like that. I think we need to have an announcement for Ghost of Tsushima 2. We got to have one. I mean, I know it ain't gonna come out next year, but we got to have that.
I love that answer, actually.
Yeah, we got to have that. And we need a new sequel from PlayStation, even if it's Bloodborne, if it's Infamous Second Son, or it'll be called Third Son, most likely.
Infamous the Third.
Yeah. Infamous the Third or something. Yeah, like something from their wheelhouse, some first party they need a sequel to something other than what we've got, because they gotta stop. Nobody can keep talking about Halo, Gears, and Forza. I mean, because we've seen Gran Turismo, God of War, Spider-Man, and Horizon Forbidden West. We've seen enough of that. What else do y'all got? That's first party. Now, I'm not talking about what they got from third party. I would say also Twisted Metal. They said that that's been in production. That's one of those live titles, and I'm pretty sure that's one of those games that didn't get on the chopping block. So we need to see that. I'm looking forward to that. That would definitely make me excited. And then also, lastly, with PlayStation, they need to stop being on that bullshit, and they need to start putting these games on PC a lot quicker. Because that's the only way that I'm going to support them at this point. You know what I'm saying? Because the more and more that I think about it, the more and more I just don't care about having a PlayStation 5. I just want to play their games on my PC. And
my mic away from this man.
Man, I'm just saying. It's like, man, I gotta have me a PlayStation. And now the more that I've been away from it, the more I'm like, if I want to play my PlayStation, I'll turn on my PlayStation 4. You know what I'm saying? I'll play the games that they do have on PlayStation on PC. Like that's how I want to experience their games. Because what the PlayStation 5 is going to offer me as a console is nothing of what I would get from what my PC offers me. You see what I'm saying? Like for story-driven games like that, I want to see them at their best capacity. Now there will be people that will say, "Well, what do you got to need an Xbox for?" Well, that's why Xbox has an app. And if I want to play some of their single-player games like Starfield or others on my PC, I just go to the Xbox app. I'm still in the Xbox ecosystem. So yes, give me those PlayStation games by either an app on PC or make that shit day and date, or at least make at least 3 months after your release. And give me Ghost of Tsushima and Twisted Metal. Give me some announcements on that, and I'll be satisfied.
Let me go because let's go back and forth on this. So I don't get so far in the weeds that I don't even remember what's going on. So as for PlayStation, I want them to speak. They've been so quiet, and see, here's Mike Johnson. I love you, brother, but I'm gonna use you on this.
Get him.
This is a problem. The community saying stuff like this. PlayStation don't need no introduction. So let me get this straight. They don't need to talk, but we always looking out for another showcase. As of lately, right? Because that used to be the Xbox thing that you guys used to make fun of us about, right? You guys always looking forward to the next showcase, the next showcase, the next showcase. Now the tables have turned where it's like, look out for PlayStation. They're coming with something. They're coming with something. They're coming with something. And we ask, what they got? Something. It is just like, yo, what's really going on over there? So what I want to see from PlayStation personally is I want to see them get outside, be loud, say something, talk to your community, engage with your community. That's probably not going to happen. I'm asking probably too much.
Right.
I just would really like to see that. I'd like to see them. They don't have to do what Xbox does because Xbox is like really into their community, right? But I just want them to come out and just be more supportive about what's going on within PlayStation, what they got that you could maybe look forward to or something like that. So as K Mega was saying, a Ghost of Tsushima 2 would be phenomenal, right?
Yeah.
Let's see. I don't know who. I know this is like dead, but like I know a lot of people that like stuff like Days Gone and stuff like that, right?
Yeah, I would like to see Days Gone.
I'd honestly like to see Santa Monica or Gorilla do some new type of IP or go back into an old IP that hasn't been touched for like over a decade. Like I'd just like to see that kind of. I mean, SOCOM goes without mentioning.
Mm-hmm.
Right? But I mean, a Killzone would be hot. Insomniac doesn't have to be the ones to do what was it? Resistance or something like that. Maybe give them something like Resistance or something like that. So
I would be happy for that.
Something to kind of make it intriguing again. Not something to kind of surprise you a little bit, because I feel like what PlayStation has been doing as of lately is not like it's not that it's bad. It's just not shocking. Like Spider-Man 2 isn't shocking. No. Everybody and their mama knew there was going to be a Spider-Man 2. A new God of War isn't shocking. No. Last of Us 3. No. I'll be there for day one, but I'm not shocked that it's coming. You know, Ratchet and Clank, not shocked. So I need some sort of shock and awe from PlayStation this year. I want to see something, and it doesn't even have to be a game dropping this year. It just has to be something to talk about. Something, you know, some of that bar conversation needs to happen. You know what I'm saying? Sitting down saying, man, I can't wait for this, that, and a third. Right now for PlayStation, all I can really say first party that I can't wait for is Wolverine. And that's from the studio that just gave me the last game from PlayStation.
That you beat in 2 days.
Come on, man. You didn't have to say it. but I did platinum it in just a couple of days. It was a phenomenal game. I thought that they respected my time. Right?
Okay. All right.
I thought that they respected my time. So I wasn't super mad about it or like, oh man, this is too short. I do hope that they come out with some DLC with it, stuff like that, because you can't just leave me off like that. You got to give me a reason to turn the game back on now.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So I feel like that's what they were doing with the God of War thing, because I 100% of that game as well. That game is a good amount of time, but once you're done with it, it's like, what do I do with it? So seeing that they gave some
you got this new
of,
stuff
like,
coming, this
kind of thing with it,
yeah.
I think that's a good thing. Personally, I think it should have came out with it, but it's a good thing to see that they're still supporting their game. And Santa Monica, Cory Barlog, and them guys don't play. They get to work and they do a great job at it. Ghost of Tsushima had that multiplayer mode that was phenomenal.
That multiplayer mode was fire.
I would like to see more PlayStation games do that. Look at you. You just listened to Bungie, and what happened to Bungie? Come on, man.
Mm-hmm.
Just do what you think you can do, and let the people do the talking, whether it's good or not. The way that people ride in this PlayStation wave, I mean, IGN and all that stuff, the game should be hot, right? It shouldn't die at all. PlayStation is selling too much. They're doing too well. So why not just give it a try, right? Give it a try. It's your biggest IP, Last of Us, right? Give it a try. Just toss it on out there. And I'm not saying toss out a piece of junk, but we know that the level of care and love that they give the Last of Us in Naughty Dog and whatnot, we don't think you're going to throw out any garbage. I may not love it, but I know a lot of people will, just for the name. And then if the mechanics and stuff like that are anything like the actual game was, should be pretty hot. I'm just not into live service games that much. I play some, but like Rocket League, and I don't play that many live service.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just, they just need something to look forward to, all in all. Is all I'm saying. I want PlayStation to be more vocal in 2024. All right, let's go on ahead to Nintendo. But before we do that, I want to hit up 108 Dragons TV with a $5 super chat coming through, throwing a little shade, saying ponies want a showcase for first party and future exclusive, and don't support Spider-Man 2. Already fell off the charts. Where y'all at, ponies? The cap real. I know, okay, Mega loving that post right there.
I mean, I'm saying Call of Duty is number one, as everybody knew, and there was supposed to be boycotts and everything, and IGN and well, the media were slandering the hell out of Call of Duty, giving it all these bad ratings. They thought it was all good. They thought that they could do the same thing to this behemoth that they've done with other stuff to kind of like, no, shun it. This is where you need to be. PlayStation is, yeah, it's over with. It's over with. You know what I'm saying? Call of Duty is still number one. Spider-Man is falling off a cliff. And that's not to take away from the game. Like I'm looking forward to it when it drops on PC. You know what I'm saying?
Spider-Man hot. I enjoy
Spider-Man looks. I mean, the other two Spider-Mans were hot, so I'm cool. I'm excited to play them. I just rather play it on something more superior.
I mean, not to say it was perfect. It was just hot. It was a good game. It was worth my time.
Looks good.
I'm happy I completed it and did everything. And would I recommend it to somebody else? Without a doubt.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Also, I will say this. I do want, if you're going to bring some older stuff, like give me a couple of, give me a couple of nugget bundles. Like give me the like they did for the old Kratos collection. Give me like that, like they did for like the PSP. And also, what are you talking about? What? What's the problem? What you walking away from? Let me get that. Let me get a little bit of that old God of War.
I'm shaking my head because of 108 Dragon. It ain't got nothing.
Oh man. Shit. Also, like the Nathan Drake collection, remake that. Bring that back. That would be great.
What are y'all doing with that?
Yeah,
bring
that
I actually think they are working on that quietly. I think they are working on that, but quietly. I mean, like I said, I don't see why you got to be so quiet.
Yeah, they're quiet. They're real quiet.
It's like uncomfortably quiet.
Because, you know what I'm saying? Like maybe 2027, maybe there is a company that's going to fade away in 2027. And it ain't Xbox. I don't know. It's looking pretty rough out there. I'm just saying, man. I mean, Apple look like they might be ready for a major acquisition. I don't know.
Let's see, man. Stop it. Oh my goodness.
Let's go.
Out of pocket.
Oh,
anyways,
man.
Shout out to 108 Dragons TV. Drops another $2 super chat saying Spider-Man 2 was a quickie.
Ooh.
Yeah, you called it the 2-pump chump. Come on,
yeah,
man.
Hey, man, get that man and go to sleep. Get on out of here.
Go. All right. Let's get back on topic because I got a half hour left.
All right.
Or actually, like 35 minutes, but whatever. Mm-hmm. Nintendo now. Bro, I mean, I feel like Nintendo really don't got to do a whole lot.
They don't got to do. They just do what they do.
After year, Nintendo figures out a way to put their hands around everybody's neck.
I want them to. I want them to make another attempt at Star Fox. I know the last couple of Star Fox. The other Star Foxes has been but I think now because of the way that Sonic is coming back, the way that they don't have to go majorly out of pocket, or just to stick with Nintendo, like what they did with Samus, what they did with the last Metroid. That was old, 2D, and it did well. You could do the same thing. You can go back to the roots of what made Star Fox great, and do that. I would like to also see, man. I mean, like, Nintendo just don't do anything wrong. Like, I mean, that's when it comes to their games in that sense. I will say that I would like for them to, because there's going to be another Pokemon game that comes out in some way, shape, or form.
And it's probably horribly.
Yeah, hopefully that's what I was going to say. Like, man, come on, man, don't do the people like that. Like, I'm not a Pokemon fan like that, but for the people that I do know that loves Pokemon, they tormented. They are tormented about how bad that game played, and it still ain't patched properly from what I hear. So, I mean, because I was going to get it, but when people told me how bad it was, I was like, oh man, I'm staying away like the plague. So hopefully if y'all do another Pokemon game, that it'll be well. And besides that, like, I'm the one game that's like a Pokemon game that game that's coming out with the big ass cat thing that has the Gatling gun and all that. I forgot what the name of that game was called. That's kind of like a competition towards Pokemon that's going to be coming out on everything. Yeah, Power. Yeah, that I'm hyped for that. I'm hyped for that. So maybe Nintendo's got to get it together. Yeah, it looks real good. That's something that
looks a little more adult.
Yes, that's why I'm digging it. So like, yeah, but anyway, they already done Zelda. I'm trying to think of something like in their wheelhouse from back in the day, like a Kid Icarus. How about y'all come and give us another Kid Icarus?
Game expensive now.
I would be all for it. As a big fan of Kid Icarus, I would be, that would make my Switch keep cooking. But I mean, if that's going to definitely make me get a Switch too. You give me a Kid Icarus, you give me a Star Fox. Those are the games I really like. Another F-Zero. I'm with it. I'm back on board. Nintendo will hook me again. So that's what, and what I'm saying. So like, there's really not too much to say about Nintendo. Nintendo's going to do what they do, and they're going to do it well with their games for the most part. But I would like to see those 3 games at some point get announced.
All right, my turn, I guess then. So for Nintendo, I'd love, and I'm kind of going to go in K-Maker's bag a little bit. Some of them old classic games because they're just so good at it. Love to see them do another Donkey Kong or Diddy Kong.
Yes.
That'd be really hot. Really, if I'm being honest with myself, the thing that I really actually need from Nintendo is new hardware.
Yeah, I was just thinking that too. When I was just like, man, yeah, give me new hardware.
I need
Yeah,
some new
you're right.
hardware.
Yeah, I was just thinking that when you was bringing
because
that
I dig my Switch, but it could be better. The form factor for being out and about for my grown man hands, it's not good. It is not comfortable at all. And then when it's docked, it's just not the prettiest experience either.
No,
It isn't. So I mean, I'd like to see new hardware, come up a little bit closer to the times. Come on, at least bring us to like, I don't know, 2020 or something. Like, I don't know, Nintendo. Come on though. So I'd probably more or less just need to see that. I'm gonna keep this one short. That's pretty much it. I just need to see new hardware and how they adapt with the old hardware. So, like, am I gonna need to buy everything all over again? Or are we finally gonna be
Nintendo gonna get you. Nintendo gonna get you.
Or are we finally gonna be like, Xbox and PlayStation where I have a library?
Nope.
Probably not.
Nope.
Right.
Nope.
But that'd be great.
They'll add those games to their subscription. You'll get their backward compatibility Switch games on through their service. So damn. Yeah, Nintendo they're not gonna do it. You know it. I would love it,
but don't fraud the public.
Yeah, don't fraud the public, brother. Don't do that. don't put that in the ether. You know what Nintendo's gonna do.
Oh yeah, I guess you're right. All right, Sir X-Man with a $2 super chat saying Sega got more titles coming out than Sony.
Boy, y'all Xbox are messy. Y'all so damn messy.
That wasn't necessary.
Yeah,
that was also not necessarily wrong.
No, he's not lying.
Like not that Sega has more games in development, but they have more games announced at least.
Are you sure about that?
They could have more games in development.
You sure about that?
I'm not saying
like,
they
come
do
on
or
now.
don't, but I'm just saying they have more games announced than first party PlayStation does.
Right? What do we know coming from PlayStation first party?
Wolverine.
Everything
Last
else is
part two.
Part three. Yeah, part two again. Yeah, and then. Yeah, that's it. Like everything else is third party or second party. Yeah, that's not first party. So yeah, no, Sir X-Man, you messy. You're disrespectful, but you are
in the face this year by Sony with a game. I'm expecting to be smacked in the face, like, whoa, I didn't see this coming. But if that doesn't happen, I'm gonna be kind of disappointed. Like I'm expecting them just to come out of nowhere. But anyways, here we are going backwards. Let's go forwards. So Nintendo's done. Thanks, Sir X-Man, for that, push off the edge right there. And K Mega loves it. So, of course, you're going to say some shit like that. And you're going to pay for it. So I say it out loud so everybody can hear it. So, anyways, now Xbox. So, what must Xbox have or do for 2024 in the eyes of K Mega?
Well, Hellblade, I mean, it's going to come out next year. But Stalker 2 needs to come out. It must come out. No more delays for that. I understand about the situation with Ukraine and all of that. I definitely know that. But if that game gets delayed somewhere, shape, or form again, then what you have is that where there was so much hype for the last couple of years for that game is now it's waning. People don't talk about Stalker 2 anymore like they did beforehand. That's a must. It must come out. I think Xbox needs to announce one of the old games from their library that people have been requesting the most from. And to me, the biggest three for me that I can remember. Now, you might have a different one. One is the Lost Odyssey. The other one is Rise, Son of Rome, and Quantum Break. They have to bring one of those games back in an announcement. They have to. They have
repeat
to.
those games.
Lost Odyssey, Quantum Break, Rise, Son of Rome. One of those games have to come back. One of those
if they
games.
bring back a new Blue Dragon.
I would like to see a new Blue Dragon.
That's Sarah Bond tweet about Blue Dragon.
Yeah, no, I would love. That's a win. That's a major win too, right there. I mean that, but you would have to bring something back from the Xbox One that's not State of Decay 3 or Sea of Thieves or Forza, Halo, or Gears. You have to bring something back from that generation, and I know that The Lost Odyssey was 360, but a lot of people got a chance to play it through backwards compatibility. And so there was people that was confused and thought it was a game that came out on Xbox One. And I was like, no, it came on 360. It's just that it just didn't get a lot of play because, it is what it is. But I feel that they need to bring something like that back. I would love to see a Recore come back, but I think that game is gone. It will never come back. So, but yeah, out of those three, I think that there needs to be an announcement of that. Game wise, Xbox is going to be, we're going to be in another really, really crazy year. And I think 2024 is going to even be a worse year overall for game content all across the board, between what Xbox is going to bring with Game Pass, for what the first party is going to be, because I think they're going to be bringing out more games than what they brought out this year. So, I'm still not on fully board. I'm going to play Avowed, but I'm not looking at it as Avowed being that type of game. I'm looking at that game being maybe about a 70, 75 meta, if you care about that type of stuff. I don't think
Jade Empire is EA, isn't it?
Jade Empire.
BioWare, right?
Yeah, that's BioWare. Yeah, that's I know Phil Spencer worked on that game. I know he had like some ties with it. I don't know. I have to look into it. So I'll let you go ahead and go, and I'll look into see who has the rights to it. But I think EA do have that. I don't think
Brother Jenkins said that for no reason in the chat. So
you might be right. I'm gonna look for it. I'm gonna look it up. But yeah, no, that's what I was
coming out here saying Tenchu,
bro. Now he's talking. He's talking some sense. He's talking some real. He's talking some real good sense right there.
They got some sense.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. Oh, well, and also I need to bring this too. Backwards compatibility needs to come back. Now, since you got Activision, and now you know what I'm saying. Now you can bring back games, not only from Activision, but from Bethesda, from maybe you could try to work out something to try to bring a Heavenly Sword over here. I know that's a PlayStation IP. Maybe try to work something out. Like, let me ask this question before you do yours. If there was a deal between Microsoft and Sony, right, for Blade, let's just say that Microsoft would say, okay, we'll let you get Blade, but you need to let us get the IP of Heavenly Sword. Would y'all do that? Would you go for that? Would y'all think that would be acceptable?
No. I don't.
Okay. People
I don't.
Chat, let me know.
And the reason because is the cachet of Blade versus the Heavenly Sword is, to me, it's just not the same. Like, I understand Heavenly Sword was heavy for Ninja Theory and whatnot.
Yeah.
But in comparison, like, if you're gonna take Blade, I'm gonna need a Wolverine or a Spider-Man, bro.
Oh, you gonna need another Marvel property? Okay, I got you.
Exactly.
I got you.
I would need that to keep the same energy.
Okay. All right, I got you. No, that's what I was asking. I was just like, because it just crossed my mind, like, oh no, wait a minute. Now, if that was the case, would Sony give away, but yeah, no, I got you. I'm not, people are saying, hell no, Xbox needs the MCU. I don't think this is over with the MCU. I think Xbox is going to get more MCU games. Like, I mean, which one is it going to be? Is it going to be, oh, hold on. Did you see the tweet from Todd McFarlane?
No.
Somebody posted about like, hey, how about, since you're going to do Blade, how about you bring Spawn? And Todd McFarlane was said, I would love that. Yes. And then Xbox tweeted down at the bottom, like, like a little emoji.
Oh, snap.
So if we could get like a Deadpool and a Spawn, and that just we'll see.
He said,
We'll
"Let's give him something to talk about."
Let's give him something to talk about.
All right, so so as for me, Xbox this coming year 2024, my expectations. I just want them to keep doing what they do, what they're doing, and by that I mean cadence. They looked like last year, not that every game was pretty. Obviously, Redfall had its slips, right?
Yes, it
But
did.
I liked that it was easy to point out that they had games. It was very easy to point that out, right? You didn't have to do any digging. You didn't have to be like Pentiment or or High on Life, or you weren't just like looking in your Rolodex trying to figure out what the heck they actually dropped. You actually know, like, oh, Starfield, easy. Redfall, sure. Hi-Fi Rush, duh. Forza, bam. 4 games right there, 4 quarters. If they can continue that cadence, which I think that they're more than able to, seeing the amount of sheer studios that they have. I mean, come on, man. I think it's something that we should come to expect, but at the same time, with Xbox's kind of history, they've been known to do good and then a little bit of So I'm just looking for consistency out of them all in all. I already know that they got a mean lineup of games. So I don't need to say, oh, they need to have this, that, and the third. I already know that like they have a ton of different games. If they just told me, yo, like randomly, even if you leave out Hellblade and they just like, yo, we're bringing Contraband, we're bringing, Fable, we're bringing Avowed, and we're bringing and we have to delay Hellblade, but we got Compulsion that's ready to come through. Like, it's just like come on, man. And see, that's what I think is gonna possibly be happening, is they're gonna maybe get some of these smaller games done to where they can possibly fill some holes for some possible delays that may be coming down in the future for unexpected games, like maybe Perfect Dark. Oh shit, Perfect Dark needs another 6 months. Let's go on ahead and drop Hi-Fi Rush 2 or DLC for that or something like that. Or you know what I'm saying? Just keep the ball rolling is all I want to see from Xbox. Last year was phenomenal. 2021 was phenomenal, but I don't want that in between year.
Yeah, no, 2022. Yeah, no, I totally agree with that.
All right. But now we're at the last topic. We got about 15 minutes left until I need to get the heck up out of here and go pick up my daughter. And me and her are going to go out and do a little something. I go to the park or something like that. Go touch the ground.
Yeah, gotta go visit my mom. So after we get out of here,
right? Real life
shit. Yeah.
All right, but before we do that, I want to talk about this last thing. And I know that you got the chance to play it. I haven't, so I'm going to give you more or less the wheel on this topic, right? But I gotta hear from you. Avatar low ratings, bro. The low ratings in the new Avatar, yet it's being talked about as one of the pretty, if not the prettiest game of the generation so far. It's being touted by some. I'm not gonna say everybody's saying that.
Right.
But I am saying a lot of people that are, I'm gonna call it like it is, graphic hoes. Graphic hoes. They out here saying, man, that new Avatar looks so dang sexy. I had 108 Dragons drop into my party chat last night, and he said he had to change his paint. And I was like, yo. So I want you to talk about a little bit, K-Mega. Tell me what your thoughts have been for the new Avatar game, and is it being disrespected because it's Ubisoft, or is there actually a problem to talk about?
Okay, so you got a super chat from Sir X-Man, so because you got to get those super chats from Sir X-Man,
or let me go ahead and knock that out. So
or you gonna get a call
super chat saying Mech Assault, Crimson Skies, and Steel Battalion. Yeah, you just wanted to hear that, K-Man. You just wanted to hear that because you love those names right there, don't you?
Yeah, Crimson Skies. I would love to see some. I would love to see some Crimson Skies. That would be fire.
That would be.
Oh my god!
Just with the level of detail that they. I mean, you go back and play Crimson Skies today on the OG
It looks good,
Xbox.
yeah.
It's a beautiful game, but it's obviously dated, right? It's obviously dated, but the colors and everything, the stuff that you're doing in the game, it's just very pretty, and it's a totally different take on an aerial game. Totally different take compared to like, your jet fighter games like
Ace Combat,
like Ace Combat and shit like that. So so it's definitely interesting. It has a real touching story added to it as well. So I'm hearing what Sir X Man is saying. I think that's the Crimson Skies one probably is the most interesting of the three that he said.
I think it's what you said is about, like, I mean, it's Ubisoft. Ubisoft has got some issues going on with it, and again, in this,
sorry, K
this,
Mega.
Yeah, go ahead.
This man, Shinrock Sound Gaming, said Dread. Could you imagine that game?
That would be nuts. Or Punisher, yeah.
I'm so sorry that I interrupted you right there, brother. I was just thinking how disgusting it would be if Dread was a game. Bro,
it would be nuts. I mean, you could definitely get away with it. I mean, if games like Wolfenstein and Doom can do what they do, just think about what you can go to the limits with Dread. Like, so I would, and Punisher. So I would be all for it. I would be all for that. Yeah, Dread would be nuts. It would just come down to which one would people be more interested in, the Punisher or Dread. But either one of those would be fantastic.
I like the mask. I like the idea of having a helmet.
And you're in a futuristic type of setting,
and just the disrespect is insurmountable.
Very insurmountable. Yeah, it would be wild. No, it would, either one would be dope. Yeah, that's a great thing. But no, Avatar is but yeah, no, I think honestly, it's just, I don't know. That's why I don't trust reviews anymore. I just don't. I just don't. I just do not trust reviews anymore. I listen to a couple of reviews every once in a while, but for the most part, man, it's gotten too corporate. Like, people used to make reviews out of passion for the love, for the passion, but now it's turned into, well, I got to make this game. I got to say this game is really good. This game is fantastic, because I want to get more free copies, or because my ad revenue will go up. Like, it's just gotten too corporate. Like that's why I just don't trust it. When you play this game, right? Like, it's not perfect. No, it actually kind of starts off kind of slow. But once you get outside, I mean, outside, dropped my jaw of how beautiful it is. So lush. I'm looking around like, man, all this jungle, and it's wild. And so, like, when I play those type of games, how much I love open world games, it does have this guidance mode if you want to play it, or they have exploration. So I picked the exploration. I want to go find what I need to find. I want to journey off, find something, get into some funk, whatever. The navigation can be annoying at times, because it is so realistic in this sense. Like, you can walk around, because at first I walked around in circles because it's so much vegetation and so much jungle. And so I'm like, man, I'm trying to find this dude. I just seen him. But I was like, okay, let me hit the map. Let me look and let me try to find it, right. And he was just maybe about, I don't know, maybe about 100 meters away. But I just kept walking around him because there was just so much stuff in that vicinity to try to go there to. And so then, you got to use a lot of your instinct, where you can kind of see things and it'll glow through like this, projection thing you got. Also, just the story seems to really hit it. It seems a little cliche, kind of corny at first, but then it really starts hitting. It has a Far Cry feel to it a little bit, but it's not Far Cry. because you'll do some like side missions that's kind of got like a Far Cry type of thing to it. Like, if you messing with the antenna instead of the antenna, then it's like you're trying to take down this you're trying to take out this oil refinery that's polluting Pandora. And then you'll walk around, but like the voice acting is fantastic. The combat is pretty damn good. And at first, like I said, it's just like one of these games when these open world games, it takes a minute for you to start establishing stuff. If you kind of just go through it, then you'll get there quicker. I kind of tend to take my time with these type of things so I can kind of learn and adjust. But the game feels really smooth. There hasn't been no issues. I haven't had a game drop on me. I've seen very few bugs. It's a damn good game. I from what I played, and I put in about maybe 10, 12, 13 hours in it so far. I would say that I think this game could be one of those titles that could have been up for some nominations this year. There's no question in my mind. I mean, because graphically it's beautiful. Music is great. The voice acting is great. Combat at first, like I said, it's a little suspect at first, but then when you get better at it and you gain more weapons, you get more skills, and the stuff that you can do when you implement your attribute points and stuff like that. Like the game is so in depth. So yeah, no, I think it's great. I think it's I would put it like this. Normally games that come out in December tend to be disappointing. This might be up there as one of the best games that came out. It had a December release in the last 10, 15 years. I can't hear you.
My bad, I was muted. I said, really?
Yeah. I think, yeah, for December releases, you have to go back. Somebody got to remind me of some December releases that was December. Well, that was the story. Halo actually came out in November, but
that was the multiplayer, but the story came out.
Yeah, the story campaign. I say this game is better than Halo Infinite because the open world aspect of it. It's just like the stuff we've been asking for like whatever. Now, when I say that, I mean that when the open world aspect of it with what you see in Pandora. Pandora is just incredible. It looks 10 times better than what Infinite does from the open world aspect of Infinite. Story so far, Infinite has it beat on that.
I can see that. Yeah. I can see what you're saying because
like
Halo Infinite. I mean, because I'm not sure. Correct me if I'm wrong. Was Avatar Frontiers of Pandora designed for Xbox One or PS4?
No, I think it's just a new gen game only.
Compared to Halo, that was designed for both last gen and current gen consoles. So I'm not too surprised to see a little bit of this game took more advantage than the other game. But as for story, I'm also not surprised that Halo was a better was written a little bit better and whatnot.
I go that full story,
but I'm saying hard, K Mega.
Okay, my bad.
I don't know if you downloading the game or you trying to throw on Frontiers of Pandora right now, but it got your PC locked up. Oh man, this man sounds horrendous right now. Tragic. You just sound like T-Pain, bro. I can't understand you.
I don't know. I have no clue. Let me see.
Okay, look, it sounds like it's coming back now.
Okay. Do I sound better now?
A little bit. Your camera's still messed up.
My camera? I'm looking. What? What's happening here?
And then he falls off completely. That man need to figure it out. He's down horrendous right now. But as for this game, to me, I can't wait to excuse me. I can't wait to hop into this game. This is something I'm actually going to be taking advantage of in Ubisoft Plus because I want to try this out first, see how it goes. It's only $18. I get to spend $18 this month. Try out Avatar's Frontiers of Pandora. I get to play Assassin's Creed Mirage. And then on top of that, I get to continue with the Crew Motorfest. So that subscription service over there for Ubisoft is looking a little interesting right now. I can tell you that much. I'm pretty interested in that sucker right now. I'm probably gonna get it later on this week, and then I might hop on, play it, or might just do a little impressions video of how I think it went and whatnot. But shout out to Sir X Man with the $2 super chat saying, "Can you imagine Xbox making an exclusive Tron game?" I don't know how I feel about Tron. You know, to me, it's just not that special. I mean, the nostalgia behind it's special. I get that, but as for like something that I'm looking forward to, if I seen Tron pop up on there, it'd be kind of a shoulder shrug for me. I wouldn't be crazy excited like you would, Sir X Man. But anyways, that was pretty much our last topic, and I don't see K Mega coming back through here. So I just wanted to tell everybody thank you so much for coming through for another episode of the crossover with me and my, I guess, not so much. Oh, there he is. He's popping back. He's back. Look, man, he's fighting for your life.
No, man, it just said, he said you got dropped. And I was like, oh, shit. And I just hit try again, and it just popped back. So I don't know what happened. So anyway, I just wanted to prove this point. Yeah, now, just going back and thinking about it, I'm going to say it. I know this might piss some people off, but I'm going to say
it. I was just about to close the show out.
I'm going to say
you're bringing some slander right
I'm going to say
over.
I'm keeping it. Man.
You trying to say something and then hit the end button.
Yeah, I hit the end, but I think that Pandora is a better game, man, than for a December release. If we're going by the reason why I will give the slight nods to Avatar over Halo Infinite is because of the open world aspect. That open world on Avatar is outstanding.
Do you want me to throw a couple more logs into the fire?
Yeah, go ahead.
Their co-op was day one.
Who what? Oh shit. Yeah. You came with the game.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, because I opened up the co-op too. Yeah.
You're right. Co-op was day one. Sorry, 343. Get your shit together.
Yeah. Like, I mean,
that co-op should have been there day one.
Should have been there day one.
That was inexcusable. It was embarrassing. It was silly.
And you got all four Master Chiefs.
Co-op a year later.
Yeah.
And for me, it was like I hopped in and played co-op, but it just didn't feel right anymore.
Yeah.
It was too late. Like at this point, if you want me to play co-op, it's got to be a DLC.
Yeah.
Like I have no problem running through the original campaign again to then play the DLC multiplayer with other friends. But as for just being like, yo, I'm gonna hit up 3 other homies and we're just gonna run through Halo. The train's left on that
one. Yeah, no, that's done. It was fun when it first came out, but then it started to get pretty stale because when you create your own Spartan and stuff like that. I understand about how the story mode and stuff. I get that. I get it, but it just felt like a filler instead of a much more, I don't know, compelling thing. And that's. And I really enjoyed Halo Infinite for what it is, but I think
that's where they need to take that Mass Effect leap.
Yeah,
you need to make an RPG to where you are your own Spartan.
Yes,
you make your own decisions.
Yeah,
and continue it. I mean, I just think that's the way you make Halo live. It doesn't have to be you as Master Chief all the time. It really
you're talking my language.
Like I'm just saying there was no problem. Like to me, there was no problem with having Locke as a character. There was no problem with ODST where you were like the ground soldiers and stuff like that, right? Everybody still understood this was Halo. The only thing that needs to make sure to hit and make sense is the story through and through from beginning to end. There doesn't need to be any, go read a book to figure this out. You know, Halo 5 kind of did that, and Halo's not the only person guilty of that. Final Fantasy did that as well, right? Go watch this movie if you want to continue playing the game for it to make sense. So it's just like, don't do that. Make it make sense, but give me the option to make the decision, so I could look over at an Infinite Umbra, a Pixel Bit G, Quaker Oats up in the chat, Shinrock Sound Game. I can look at some of these folks, Sir X Man, and be like, what kind of decision did you make? You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. Right.
And how did yours play out in comparison to mine? Maybe I need to try your way because my way just blew up the ring, and they
right. Yeah,
the UNSC fell apart. You just killed everything.
Right? Yeah. No, that's what's great.
So that's just my opinion. Last thought, real quick, K Mega. What do you think about? And I know you said that you don't, look into reviews too much, but what do you think about the 73 score for Avatar?
What was their reason for giving it a 73? If you can just give me a brief reading of why they thought that it,
Well, do you like?
Yeah, give me a low number, like something that like gave it a 60 or something like that.
Okay, I'll go with XGN.
Mm-hmm.
They said Avatar Frontiers. Right here, they said Avatar Frontier. It's probably hard to read on a phone or whatnot, but it says Avatar Frontier Pandora is a successful movie adaptation in the sense that it offers very smooth gameplay and beautiful world to explore. It's also a very rewarding experience to explore Pandora when you are fighting the RDA or making your way through the world. You feel very much a Navi, but all the local terminology can be very confusing. Unfortunately, frequent frame drops and crashes somewhat spoil our experience on PC, preventing the game from delivering the magical experience it could have. 65.
Okay, that is. So so they agreed with what I was saying about the game, so about the experience, the smoothness of play, and everything. Okay, so you mean to tell me that? And I know you press for time. I'm pressed for time too.
Yeah, I gotta go.
But the one thing to do, if people would go back and they would look at the review for The Last of Us remaster on PC and see what the ratings were from a lot of people, not from the fan base, but from the people who were giving the game a from these media outlets. They were talking about the bugs, but they were still giving. I mean, hell, look at what they did with Spider-Man. So make up your mind. If
that is a real problem right now.
That's a problem.
Like everybody has this kind of favoritism, and they act like nobody can see it, but it's like clear as day. Like, how are you going to say, "Oh man, this game was buggy, so I dropped the score of it"?
Right.
And then another game comes out, and it's just because it's like a well-known IP that is tied to a specific platform that everybody sometimes not to say they don't deserve the the recognition. Sometimes it's just like way over the top,
right.
So like you discount this one for bugs, but
give it a 66.
When Insomniac literally comes on Twitter and says, "Yo, we got to fix a lot of stuff," and they give you a list, and list is short.
And that's where the problem is. You say everything else about the game is great, except for, like I was saying, the navigation can be confusing. But you can play guidance mode to where it will kind of take you where you want to go. Everything else, gameplay, visuals, all the other stuff is fine. And you feel like you're an avatar, but yet, or you a Navi. But no, lo and behold, because of the experience was buggy, I'm going to drop this game like this, but not have the same consistency on that. So that's why I just say, like, look, man, just play the game for yourself and you'll get the experience. I definitely recommend it. I think that the game is gorgeous, but the game feels and plays fantastic. So and that thing to me, that's what is the winning ticket at the end of the day. So I don't know. That's my thoughts on it.
No doubt, no doubt. Well, K Mega, it was a pleasure. It was a really good show today. I know we got started a little later than we had anticipated, but it's all right. You guys still showed out. Paid your respects. You guys were here very loud in the chat. Absolutely loved you guys were a big part of the conversation here today.
Absolutely.
Hey Mega, if you could go on ahead and let everybody know where we can find you, so I can get the hell up out of here.
Yeah, man. KMega405 on Twitter X, or at KMega4, I should say, on Twitter X. On TikTok, KMega405. On Twitch, KMega405. Fight Night Sunday will return here in the beginning of the year. Get ready for that. Also, the last GRG for 2023 will be this Friday night, 8 p.m. Central. Come check us out. It should be a good time. And Devin the Gamer. We're gonna see if we're gonna try to do Devin the Gamer tomorrow, me and Don. So come and check us out. Be greatly appreciated. All right, guys.
Yep, absolutely. You guys have a wonderful rest of the day. Make sure you guys come through tomorrow for me and Loke's show. The Lowdown. It'll be at the same time, about 1 o'clock in the Lord's time, 2 o'clock Eastern. Make sure come through. Don't forget to hit that like button if you haven't already. Share this sucker out, and if you're new here, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. It don't cost you no money. Go check out K Mega's channel as well, K Mega 405. Don't cost no money to hit the subscribe button there either. Support. Thank you guys so much. Y'all have a wonderful rest of the day, and it's your boy Ham Solo from TSWS Gaming letting you know to keep it gaming or keep it moving. Peace.